All right, today we're jumping into one of the most important traditions in all of Islam. Seriously, it's so much more than just a story. It's like a foundational lesson, the entire structure of the faith, delivered in the most unforgettable way you can imagine. So it all starts right here, from the perspective of one of the Prophet Muhammad's closest companions, Omar. I mean, just picture the scene. You're in a quiet gathering, it's a totally normal day, and then suddenly, this man just appears. The fact that it's an eyewitness account just pulls us right into that moment.
And this is the big question, right? The central mystery that the whole story revolves around. A man shows up seemingly out of thin air, and nobody has a clue who he is. That question was hanging in the air for them, and it's the question we're going to answer. So, let's talk about his arrival. The description we get of this man is super specific and honestly pretty baffling. It's the very first clue that something extraordinary is about to happen. Okay, so check this out. The description is full of contradictions. His clothes are described as intensely white, and his hair intensely black. You know, that's just impossible for someone who's been traveling through the desert. And yet, he's a total stranger. Then he sits down with this incredible confidence, knee to knee with the Prophet. It's a posture that's both respectful, like a student, but also incredibly direct, like an equal. You can just imagine the companions looking at each other, completely confused.
So this visitor, he doesn't waste any time. No small talk. He immediately launches into a series of questions that get right to the very heart of the religion, starting with the most basic foundational practices.
His very first question is so direct and so deep. He's asking for the definition of Islam. What does it actually mean to submit to God? What are the actions involved?
And the Prophet's answer is this perfectly clear five-part framework. These are the famous 5 pillars, the core actions that really define a Muslim's life. You've got the declaration of faith, the 5 daily prayers, giving charity, fasting during Ramadan, and, if you're able, making the pilgrimage to Mecca.
And this is where things get even weirder. After the Prophet answers, the visitor says, "You have spoken the truth." The companions were just floored. Think about it. Usually when you ask a question, it's because you don't know the answer. This guy asks and then confirms the answer is correct, almost like he's the teacher quizzing the student.
But he's not done. The visitor isn't just interested in the outward actions. He immediately goes a level deeper, shifting from the actions of the body to the beliefs you hold in your heart. So his second question moves from Islam to Iman. He's basically asking, okay, that's what you do. Now tell me, what must you believe? And the Prophet lays out the 6 core beliefs. Notice, these aren't actions anymore. These are convictions that live inside you. Belief in one God, in His angels, the scriptures, the messengers, the final day of judgment, and in divine destiny, accepting that everything, both the good and the bad, comes from God.
And there it is again. The visitor confirms the answer. You have spoken the truth. By now, the confusion among the companions must be off the charts. Who is this man? How does he already know the answers to the deepest questions of their entire faith?
So let's just pause here, because this is a really crucial distinction that's being made. Islam is the what you do, the framework of actions your body performs. Iman is the what you believe, the internal conviction in your heart. You really can't have one without the other, but they are understood as different dimensions of the same path.
The visitor has one last question about the religion itself, and this one aims for the very top, the highest spiritual state a person can possibly hope to achieve.
He asks about ihsan. It gets translated as excellence or spiritual perfection. What he's really asking is, what is the ultimate, most beautiful way to worship? What does it feel like when your faith is perfected?
And the Prophet's answer is just profound. It defines the absolute peak of spiritual awareness. Ihsan means living in a state of constant mindfulness, worshiping God with the certainty that you're right there in His presence. And even if you can't see Him, you act with this unshakable knowledge that He sees you. It's an idea that transforms every single action into a deep, meaningful act of worship. So, after laying out this entire spiritual roadmap for a person, the visitor's questions take a sharp turn. He zooms way out from the inner world of a believer to the very end of time itself. When the man asks about the exact time of the final hour, the Prophet gives this incredible, humble answer. He basically says that neither of them knows that secret. That knowledge belongs to God and God alone. It's this powerful moment where the teacher and this mysterious, all-knowing student are on the exact same page. But even though the exact time is a secret, the Prophet does give them a couple of signs to look out for. And these signs are fascinating. They both paint a picture of a world turned completely upside down. Social orders will collapse,
and barefoot, poor shepherds will suddenly become mega rich, competing with each other to build the tallest skyscrapers. The core theme here is rapid, disorienting change in the very fabric of society.
And with that last answer, it's over. The mysterious man just gets up and leaves as quietly as he came, leaving everyone sitting there in a stunned silence.
Omar really captures that quiet, reflective moment after he left. You can feel the tension in the air, right? All these unanswered questions. The companions are just sitting there, trying to process what they just witnessed. And after letting that moment sink in, the prophet finally breaks the silence.
He turns to Omar and asks the exact question that is on everybody's mind, setting the stage for the big reveal.
And there it is, the incredible conclusion. The visitor wasn't a man at all. It was the Archangel Gabriel, the same angel who delivered God's revelations, but in human form. His goal wasn't to learn anything, it was to teach. By asking these very specific questions in public, he prompted the prophet to lay out the core of the faith in one single unforgettable lesson.
So what's the big takeaway here? This one event provides a complete curriculum for the religion. It neatly organizes the faith into 3 ascending levels: Islam, which is the actions, Iman, the internal beliefs, and Ihsan, the spiritual awareness that perfects them both. It's not just a historical story, it's a divine lesson plan, a roadmap for the entire journey of faith.